Good morning, children. Today in English, in class 11, we continue the play Mother's Day. We are aware that Annie Pearson is basically a very kind and a soft-hearted woman. She cannot tolerate seeing her family members in a miserable state. She feels that her family is really suffering because of the harsh treatment that they have been subjected to, and also the family is hers, not Mrs. Fitzgerald's. Although their personalities have been exchanged, yet she is feeling upset and she feels that this has gone too far now, that this should stop now. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald, with the personality of Annie Pearson, has enjoyed the experience and she's been able to teach a lesson to Doris Sarell and George Pearson. Whereas Annie Pearson is unhappy to see her family being treated so harshly. Now, Mrs. Fitzgerald wants the two ladies to be left alone so that they can sort out the matter, because in the presence of the family it cannot be done. So she makes a request. She makes a request to George and Doris. Now listen, you two. That is, George is the husband and Doris is the daughter. I want to have a private little talk with Mrs. Fitz. She was just about to complete Mrs. Fitzgerald. Thankfully, she hastily stopped and said Mrs. Pearson. So, what she has requested George and Doris, that if they can, the two ladies can be left alone for some time. So, I'll be obliged, I'll be grateful, she says, if you leave us alone for a few minutes. So she says that I will be very grateful to both of you, that is to George and Doris, that if you can leave us alone for some time, go on please. So she's again requesting George and Doris to leave. I promise you that you won't regret it. So she is giving an assurance. She says, I assure you that you will not regret it, that you will not repent, you will not feel sorry for leaving us alone for a little while. There's something here that only I can deal with. So she means to say that the situation cannot be handled by anybody else. Only she can deal with this situation and resolve the issue and the matter. But beyond that, she cannot express more than that. She cannot directly say why the two ladies should be left alone. So that is the request that she makes, that she is going to set the matter right. George is willing to do that. I'm glad somebody can. For a change, he is glad now, he is happy that he says, cause I can't. That is because I can't. He says, I can't handle this situation, and if somebody else can, I will be very glad. And he is most willing to leave the place and leave the two ladies alone. Come on, Doris. And both Doris and George leave the room. Leave the two ladies, Annie Pearson and Mrs. Fitzgerald, alone. Mrs. Fitzgerald, we must change back now. We really must. So, Mrs. Fitzgerald, who has the personality of Annie Pearson, is now wanting desperately to change. Change what? Their personality and come back to their own original personalities. Why? Mrs. Pearson is asking her. Because this has gone far enough. She says that this has gone too far. She is very upset to see her family miserable and unhappy. So she says that this is more than enough for the family. I can see they are all miserable. She says, from what I have observed, that they are all very unhappy, they are all very miserable, and I can't bear it. I can't bear it. That means this is becoming unbearable. She can't tolerate, she can't bear to see her family unhappy and miserable, because she is basically a very soft-hearted person. No, I can't stand any more of it. So she is insisting that they revert to their personalities. I really can't. We must change back. So she says that I can't bear this any longer. We need to revert, we need to come back to our own original personalities. So she is insisting. We must change back. Hurry up. Please, Mrs. Fitzgerald. So she's almost pleading with her friend that we have to come back to our own original personalities. She can't bear to see the family unhappy and miserable as they have been throughout, because all of them have been treated very harshly. So she says, yes, well, if you insist. So she says, if you insist, that means if you want the change now, yes, I do, please, please. So she is not prepared to waste even a single moment. She definitely wants their personalities to be changed again and come back to their own original personalities. So she stretches out her hand and takes her friend's hand, utters the magical words which she had spoken earlier, by means of which their personalities had got changed. So once again she does that, the body relaxes and they have come back to their own original personalities after a while. Mrs. Fitzgerald, I enjoyed that. She says what she is expressing is that it has been an enjoyable experience for her. Why? She has taught a lesson to the family, to George Pearson, Doris and Cyril. She is very glad and she has enjoyed herself thoroughly, and she has also been very rude and impolite, treated them harshly, but at the same time she has helped to improve the behavior of all the members of the family towards Annie Pearson. I didn't. She says, I didn't. That means it was not an enjoyable experience for her, because she is basically a very kind and a soft hearted person. She is not able to bear to see them all in such a miserable state, that they were so unhappy, that they were suffering. So that is the reason why she did not want to continue any longer and come back to the original personalities, which by now they have come back to. Well, you ought to have done. Now listen. So Mrs. Fitzgerald says that you should have had an enjoyable experience. I wonder why you did not enjoy, because she wanted her family's attitude towards her to change, their perspective towards her to change, that she should be treated with respect, with love and affection and care, which she was missing all along, and she was most unhappy. But the family had taken her for granted and never thought about her, they were very selfish and self-centered, which she also knew herself. But she could not change them. She gave them hints off and on, but that was not really enough to set matters right, because George was a very dominating person and he only wanted her to do whatever that he liked. When she was sitting and drinking stout, he objected to that and protested also. And Doris and Cyril were unhappy because the tea was not ready, the clothes were not ironed, and to make matters worse, she refused to do anything for them also. So with all that kind of treatment, the harsh treatment that they were subjected to by Mrs. Fitzgerald, finally they have come to realize and have realized their mistake and have come to understand that they can't fool around with her anymore, that they cannot ill-treat her anymore as they have done in the past. But at the same time, Annie Pearson now is being given a piece of advice. Mrs. Fitzgerald is telling her that she should not go soft on them again. That is, that she has to continue to be stern with them the way she has been till now, because otherwise the effort that they had made, the effort that they had undertaken, the effort of exchanging their personalities, that would have all been wasted. So she is giving her advice that she should stay firm like this only and not go soft on them, again as she was earlier. Thank you.